Hi, and thanks for visiting my channel. This is AcaciaBallPythons, and my name is Acacia, and I am the breeder and the owner of the business. So the primary intention of this channel and these videos is as a point of reference of information for anybody who might want to buy from me or have questions from me or sell to me, to know who I am and what I do and that I'm legitimate. A lot of this is going to be documentation of any pairings that I do or clutches that I produce. You know, I think it's not a shock at this point, unless you've been living under a rock, that online sales scams are rampant and a serious problem. You almost can't do anything online without being harassed or bombarded by scammers. Especially if you're trying to purchase an animal or spend a large sum of money, this can be very anxiety-inducing because you don't know if you're about to enter a legitimate transaction, so that's why I'm here. I probably won't be covering too much about any sort of industry drama or making content for entertainment, and I'm certainly not going to really teach you how to breed because I'm new to it myself. I'm very experienced in ball python care. My oldest ball python is 16 years old. I worked in several aspects of the exotics industry. Part of that was working for one of the largest breeders in the country. If you're curious who that is, you can message me and I'll tell you all about it, but I'd rather not mention it here. I'll probably also be providing video care guides or reference for if you have questions or run into issues with your snake, how to get them started, how to deal with feeding issues, how to keep them alive and well and healthy, how to set up enclosures, things like that. Those are things that I can provide information on because those are things that I have experience with. And it would be great if someone wants to buy from me or they have bought from me and they have such questions, I can direct them to a video I've already made. I am a breeder exclusively of ball pythons, primarily in smaller numbers, because I want to make sure that I'm providing optimal care, that I have hands on the entire experience, that I can quality check everything, and that I can easily answer questions because I know each animal individually and intimately. I know that business-wise it's wise to diversify, but I want to keep things simple. I want to keep things small. I want to make sure that I can achieve my goals each and every day, and that things like time and being overwhelmed with numbers and money is not really a factor in how I care for my animals. So this here is Mabel. She is a female mahogany het pied, and she's going to be breeding for me hopefully next fall of 2024 if she gets big enough, but she's eating and growing well, so that shouldn't be a problem. I love mahoganies and dark snakes, and that's probably going to be kind of a centerfold of a lot of my projects. I'm just a lover of dark morphs. I don't really have any interest in following trends or trying to stick with what's popular or chasing what the biggest breeders are doing. I have my own plans and my own projects, and I'm sticking to them, and maybe somebody will love what I love. I also tend to choose snakes that have a mild, docile personality, that are very tolerant of handling, and that don't tend to be too feisty or spicy or reactive. Obviously the science of genetics like this are new and we don't know everything, but I theorize if you can pass on traits such as appearance, size, even feeding tendencies, then you can probably also pass on personality. And if you breed two mild-tempered snakes together, you're probably more likely to get mild-tempered babies. And now for my personal policy. All photos and information provided will be accurate. Photos will be true to life, as close as I can get them. You know exactly what you're getting. And you can ask for more always. You can ask for video clips. I don't think any question is a dumb question, and there's no such thing as a tire kicker. I feel like people should be able to make decisions carefully and selectively, especially when buying animals, because if they're going to have that animal long term, I don't want someone rushing into a decision or making an ill-informed decision that they later regret, or thinking they're getting something that they're not really getting, because that snake is just going to bounce from home to home. We've all seen it happen, especially with reptiles, and it's a lot easier for people to want to pass on an animal that they get bored of or that they weren't 100% on to begin with. I really take issue with breeders that believe that because they've been well established in the industry for a long time that they can just write people off or ghost people if somebody's asking what they consider to be too many questions. That's just poor customer service. And in this day and age, you know, customers have access to a much larger selection of animals and a much larger selection of sellers, and they don't have to deal with your shit if they don't want to. And you can choose to lose sales that way, but it's not recommended. You really should up your game as far as customer service. Animals will of course arrive healthy and in excellent condition if for whatever reason you have a dead on arrival or an animal arrives sick. God willing that does not happen. But if that does happen, I do support returns, refunds, replacements within reason. More importantly is you will continue to receive support from me after purchase. There's no dumb question after you've received the snake either. Just because I have your money does not mean I'm done with you. If you run into a problem or you have a question, please contact me. I want to help you and your new animal be successful. Now, in regards to payment plans, I know everybody has a different policy on this, but mine is very simple. If your snake is $125 or more, you can do a payment plan, but the deposit needs to be $125 minimum. If you're buying a $500 snake, $125 deposit, and then pay $500 by the end of the month in whatever interval you want. If you have a $250 snake, you need to have paid $250 within 2 weeks. So it's $125 per week. And if you have, say, a $2,000 snake, you don't have to have that snake paid off within a month. I know that some breeders do that, is that no matter how expensive the animal is, it has to be paid off within a certain amount of time. It's $500 a month. If you have a $1,000 snake, you have 2 months. If you have a $2,000 snake, you have 4 months, but I have to receive a minimum of $500 a month. Now, to protect myself, of course, I have to have a policy. So all deposits and payments are non-refundable, so simply changing your mind does not constitute a refund. In the event that the animal arrives sick or dead, that constitutes a refund. If you want to switch animals and put the payments toward a different snake, that's perfectly fine. But all payments are non-refundable except in extenuating circumstances, or again, if there's something wrong with the animal when you receive it. This also means if you're half paid on a snake and you suddenly decide, okay, I can't have a snake anymore, my spouse said I can't have it, my parents said I can't have it, or I've simply changed my mind, you have lost all of the money that you've paid and there is no refund for that. Sorry if that seems extreme, but obviously we have to protect against scamming and, people actually wasting time holding an animal that they never actually intend to fully pay off. Okay, so this is a big one. I'm in big support of disease testing. So that means that I myself will be doing my own randomized testing, but I will also support you testing. So what this means is that you can either pay a non-refundable fee before receiving your animal to get current testing results in writing, and they will be sent to you. So that would be something that I would do, but you would be paying for it. Conduct your own test upon intake at your expense. From the moment you receive the snake, should you decide to do this, you have to tell me immediately, and you have 7 days to perform your test. Copies from the lab will need to be sent directly to me in the event of a positive result for any disease. In the event of a positive result, you can choose to either keep or treat the animal yourself, which means no monetary refund. You can choose to euthanize the animal yourself, but the euthanasia will be at your expense. Then I will provide you a refund for the animal after you provide proof that euthanasia has been performed. Or you may choose to return the snake for a full refund. Return shipping will be, again, at your expense, but the cost of the snake itself will go back to you as soon as I receive the animal. Alright, now on to the slightly less important personal stuff. As a personal choice, I will not breed any morphs genetics that are well known to have or cause neurological, developmental, or physical ailments, deformities, or limitations. This includes, but is not limited to, spider, champagne, womas, spot nose, black pastel, cinnamon, caramel, albino, desert, scaleless head, etc. I don't find it inherently problematic for other breeders to choose to work with these genes, provided they're doing it responsibly and selectively. It's just more risk and complication than I choose to deal with. As a preference, I focus on genes that are not only visually striking, but also have superior color retention. So that's big for me, is I want snakes that are not necessarily catfishing. I want a snake that looks pretty much just as good as an adult as it does as a hatchling. And sometimes a lot of pet buyers, especially those who are not experienced with genes and breeding, may not know that that beautiful purple and yellow banana that they bought will not be a purple and yellow banana in a year or two. And some people may be okay with this, some people may take great issue, so I just choose not to work with genes that completely change appearance as they age. I don't work with clown. I know it's very popular. I'm not a fan of clown for multiple reasons. I don't really like that much how it looks as a baby, but I really don't like how it looks as an adult. Okay, so this one's a little bit different, and I think that this makes me a little bit unique, and I might be more of a suitable breeder for certain buyers who are looking for this sort of thing. And I know that not a lot of breeders breed specifically for this, but I selectively breed for personality and mental fortitude as well as appearance. The more mild-tempered and social snakes are, the far more likely they are to be selected as breeders. In addition, and this is why I want to keep my numbers small, hatchlings will be socialized and enriched from the time they take their first meal until they leave for their home to better prepare them for whatever stimuli they may encounter. So obviously most of these animals will go into pet homes. Maybe some breeders will buy from me and they'll end up going to breeder racks, that's fine too. But in the event that you have a large elaborate enclosure or you intend to have one, I like to prepare my offspring so that they are not immediately freaked out or overwhelmed by the dramatic change in environment. So at the very least, you know, when you're buying a snake from me and you go to interact with it, hold it, touch it, expose it to light, expose it to climbing stimuli or plants, you know that it's not going to be the first time that they've seen that. Ultimately, all I'm interested in is providing these animals optimal care, giving them lots of love, making sure that they're successful in their new homes, and that whoever buys them loves them and appreciates them just as much as I do. I deeply love these animals. I know some people think that they're just pet rocks. I think that they are delightful. I think they're sweet. I hope this wasn't too long-winded. This introductory video is just kind of meant to cover all of my bases so that I can get that all out there, and then future videos will be much more simple and short and to the point and be all about the snakes rather than about me. If you have questions or concerns, you know, feel free to comment or send me a message. My Morph Market has all of my contact information. Yeah, I guess that's about it. Thanks so much for watching. Hopefully you stuck through all the way to the end. And I'll see you in the next one.